Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Thursday, and it is April 2nd, because it is the number 1 and the number 2. On the chart over here, I have the word today is, and it points to number 2. So if today is the second day of April, yesterday, which is the day that already happened, we go backwards to number 1. So yesterday was the first day of April. Today is the second day of April. And this says tomorrow will be, what do you think will come after number 2? 1, 2, it'll be number 3. So if it is number 3 in order, number 1 we call first, number 2 we call second, and if you are number 3 in order, we call it third. Okay, so tomorrow is going to be Friday, April 3rd. Boys and girls, today for your religion lesson, you're going to go back to, I believe it's page 101. It's a story about how Jesus loves children. Mrs. Capron will be reading that story to us next week from the Bible, but you have it here, so it should sound familiar to you when you hear it again. You're going to pretend that you are one of the children that Jesus is with, and listen to the story and imagine that you are there. And really think about how you would feel if Jesus was there and he were calling you to him and he was showing his love for you, because that's something that he does even though we don't see it. He loves us very much. And think about how you feel. How do you feel when your mom or your dad or anybody in your family gives you a big hug? Do you feel safe? Do you feel happy? Do you feel loved? Do you feel comforted? All of those wonderful things. That is how we can feel all the time, knowing that God is with us and that God loves us. Today I have some special pictures that were sent to me, documenting all of the work that you are doing at home. I'm so proud of all the work that you've been sending me and all those pictures. You're really showing that you're learning how to experiment, how to observe things, to really pay attention to the way things are made. You're listening to stories, learning so many new words. Over here I have a picture of our friend Austin. And on the day that we had the story, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, because we are learning about caterpillars and butterflies this week, Austin had the book The Very Hungry Caterpillar at home. And in that book, you get to see all the different things that this caterpillar is eating. And you can see he's so hungry because there's holes in all these different kinds of food. And when you list them in order, you're actually doing sequencing. You're telling the different order of the way the story happens. Nice job, Austin, and thank you so much for sending that to me. That smile made this smile. And I also found this wonderful picture. While we're learning about butterflies, and we've been planting some flower seeds and vegetable seeds, we learned that butterflies are pollinators. So that means that they spread the pollen from one blossom to another, and by doing that they help the blossom turn into fruit, okay, or vegetables. So they help to give us food. So one of the things we've been doing is planting, and this is a picture of Savannah F's garden, her seed starters. So here she has the picture of the cantaloupe, where she started that. She has the picture of the lemon seed, and she has the picture of where she planted her yellow bean seed. So she's going to be doing some observation, as are some of you, and trying to maybe hypothesize. That means take a really good guess maybe of how long it will take before those seeds start to emerge, okay? Before they start to come out of the ground. And then you can check to see if your hypothesis was correct. And if not, you make adjustments to it. So you're learning as you go. Thank you so much, Savannah. I was really glad to see this. And so happy to hear from many of your families that you're doing the same. On this worksheet, you're going to be making a pattern using the pictures from the bottom. Cut out all 4 pictures and have them ready. Then look at the first line, and this time instead of having 2 pictures in a pattern, you're going to have 3. So the first pattern starts with an ant, then a spider, then a butterfly. So first ant, second spider, butterfly, third. Let's say the pattern together and see what goes after the spider at the end. Ready? Ant, spider, butterfly. Ant, spider. What goes next? If you said butterfly, you're correct. So the pattern goes ant, spider, butterfly, ant, spider, butterfly. And you will glue the butterfly just like on that picture right in the box. The second worksheet is comparing sets to see which set of pictures has more. On the first line, you notice that there are cups of soda and there are hot dogs. Count the cups of soda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now count the hot dogs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which number is more? 5 sodas or 4 hot dogs? If you said 5 sodas, you are correct. What you'll do here is put a circle around the 5 sodas and then go to the next line. Count the pretzels and then count the drumsticks and circle which set has more. Continue that till you get to the bottom of the page. On the third worksheet that you have for today is the capital letter E. And the capital letter E has 4 different lines that you're going to make. You will start at the number 1 at the very top corner. And you are going to draw a line starting at the top and going straight down to the bottom. Boys and girls, it is always best to go from top to bottom when you're writing letters. Then number 2 tells us to go back to the top where we started. And this time you're going to go out to the side from the top line out to the right. Then you will put your pencil in the middle where it says number 3. And in the middle of that line, you're going to go out to the right again. And then you will put your pencil on number 4. And then your last line will be starting in that bottom corner and making a line out to the right. So a capital E is made by a straight line down, a straight line out from the top, a straight line out from the middle, and a straight line out from the bottom. Your fourth sheet today is an ABC roll and trace paper. You are going to be making the capital letter E and the lowercase letter e. So to make the capital E, again, you start in the top corner, make a line down, then you go to the top corner again, a straight line to the right, go to the middle line, a straight line to the middle, to the right, and then the bottom corner, a straight line across that bottom line to the right. Lowercase e, please remember you're going to start on the left line and go straight across and then go all around, almost into a full circle, but do not close it. You will look at the dice at the bottom and they show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll your dice from your game board. If you get a 2, you will trace a letter in that column. If you get a 6, you will trace a letter in that column, and so forth. Keep rolling the dice until all of the E's have been traced. Our last activity today is sorting things by color. What I'm going to ask you to do is to look at the pictures at the bottom of the sheet, and I want you to have 2 crayons or markers ready, a red crayon and a yellow crayon. And I want you to think about when you see these objects, if they're usually red
or if they're usually yellow. So think about a fire truck, and what color do you think that usually is? Very good, it's usually red. And then a duck is usually, or if you think of a little baby duck, it's usually yellow. Okay? Then at the top of your page, you're going to have two sets of boxes, and it's going to ask you to sort your pictures once you have colored them and cut them out. So the first set asks you to think about the color of an apple, and an apple is usually red. So please color the apple at the very top red, and those 4 boxes underneath will be for the things that are usually red. And then the other set of 4 boxes has a banana at the top, and bananas are usually yellow. So in those 4 boxes, you will glue things that are usually yellow. And then you will have sorted and classified all of your 8 objects.
The story I'm going to read to you today, boys and girls, is The Life of a Butterfly. Now, many of the stories that we read are stories. They're fiction, they're make-believe. They're imagined in someone's mind. But then there are books that are called non-fiction. Non-fiction means that it's true information. Okay, so in this book, it's not going to have a story with a beginning and characters and problems that are solved. It's going to tell you some important information that is true. All right, so try to think about what you learn as we read this story together. I'm going to come a little closer. And here we go. The Life Cycle of a Butterfly. It is written, and the pictures also are by Robin Bernard, the author and the illustrator or the photographer. What do you see on this milkweed leaf? It looks like a little jelly bean or a dewdrop. But come closer and you'll find that it's really an egg. And something alive is hidden inside. Soon the egg is ready to hatch. Okay. A tiny body squiggles out and wiggles its way out into the world. Do you know what it is? It's a caterpillar, and it's very, very hungry. Do you see its head over here? And its body and all those little legs. Right away, the caterpillar eats its eggshell. Then it begins to nibble leaves. It eats and eats, growing bigger and fatter. And as it grows, it changes. Now the caterpillar has velvety stripes. Look at this. Do you see its antennae that we spoke about? 1, 2, so we know that's where its head is. And look at its little feet. See them right here? All those little feet that run along their bodies. Munch, crunch. The caterpillar is an eating machine. It moves along the milkweed plant, chewing up the leaves. Milkweed is a very, very, very popular plant for caterpillars. They love to eat milkweed. And here it says, this caterpillar has very strong jaws for chewing. And it says it holds on to the leaf with its 16 legs. That's more than a spider. When the caterpillar is about 10 days old, the caterpillar stops eating and it looks for a safe place to rest. Can you see the caterpillar in this picture? Right over here, it almost looks like the plant. Almost like it's camouflaging. The caterpillar crawls under a leaf and hangs upside down. Then something amazing happens. The caterpillar begins to change shape. What letter does this look like? It starts at the top. It goes down and curls around this way. Did you say the letter J? It does look like the letter J, doesn't it? The caterpillar has become a chrysalis. Inside that chrysalis, incredible things are happening. Nature is putting on a kind of magic show. It is turning the caterpillar into something new. Now we know that's not magic, right? That is a miracle. It is something that God has created for caterpillars to be able to turn and change themselves into chrysalis. And then what comes after the chrysalis? Do you see the butterfly coming out? Flying. It says, about 2 weeks later, you can see what's inside the chrysalis. And it is just starting to come out. It pushes and pushes until the chrysalis splits. Look, a beautiful monarch butterfly. Here it says, can you see the monarch's wings inside the chrysalis? And here it says the monarch's head pokes out of the chrysalis right there. It said about 2 weeks it waits there before it comes out. That's like a long nap, but it's very busy. The butterfly only has 6 legs now because now it is an insect. But it has grown brand new wings. At first they are wet and all crumpled up. And slowly the butterfly stretches her wings out. The monarch hangs onto the shell to stretch its wings. Here you see it saying how long does it take from when it stretches its wings out till it's dry. It's usually about 3 hours. Can you see the antennae here? This is a good picture of them. And then its legs are holding on still to the chrysalis. Can't see them all, but there are 6 legs. The monarch rests and lets its wings dry in the sun. All the velvet that was on the caterpillar and the stripes are gone. Instead, the butterfly is covered with tiny, tiny scales. And here you can see the tiny scales. Take a close look at its wing. Tiny scales give the butterfly its beautiful pattern and its colors. Do you see how small they are? All those little building blocks. And isn't it amazing how God has designed these tiny little animals? Can you imagine how small those scales must be? And remember, we learned about symmetry. If you were to fold the wing over, what's on this side will match exactly what's on this side. And even its body is symmetrical. what's on this side matches what's on that side. Soon the butterfly can fly. It flutters from flower to flower. The butterfly has a straw-like tube, okay, in its head. It pokes the tube into the blossom to sip its nectar. Nectar is a butterfly's food. So if we look really close, it's a little straw-like, almost like our tongue, but it's a straw, and it goes deep into the flower, and it drinks the nectar, which is like a sweet juice from out from the inside of the flower. And that nectar, or sweet juice inside the flower, is the food for the butterfly. Okay, I'll show you these 2 pages. It says, you can find butterflies wherever there are flowers. Okay. There are 12 butterflies in this garden. How many monarch butterflies can you find? Well, boys and girls, see if you can find the 12 butterflies first, and if you need to, you can pause the video right here, and then once you're finished finding the monarch, all of the butterflies, then you're going to look for the monarch butterflies, which are orange, white, and black. Those are the monarch butterflies, even though there are many different kinds. So see if you can find 12 butterflies. Ready? Pause your video now. Very nice, boys and girls. Did you count to 12? Monarchs, boys and girls, are poisonous. Their bright colors warn birds and other animals to stay away. Okay, there they say, don't eat me, I taste awful. So they're not poisonous to look at. If it lands on you, it's not poisonous, only if you try to eat it, which I don't think you're going to want to eat a butterfly. But if an animal tries to eat a butterfly, it's going to taste horrible, and it's probably going to spit it out. So that's how butterflies protect themselves. Animals see them and they say, oh, those have such a horrible taste. I am not going to eat that butterfly. And right over here, when it gets to be fall time, it says as soon as there's a nip in the air, when it starts to get a little cold, the monarch butterflies do what many birds do. They fly south to a place that is warmer. They don't want to stay here in the winter. Do you remember what it's called when they fly to a warmer place for the winter? It's called migrating. Very good. So butterflies, the monarch butterflies, migrate. It says, on wings as thin as tissue paper, they can fly across the ocean. Thousands of monarchs travel together. These monarchs right here are all resting on a tree in Mexico. When spring comes, the monarchs will fly north again. So boys and girls, when you look at the map, we live right about here, okay, in the United States. And it looks really, really small on this picture, but the United States is a big place. Those monarchs are going to fly all the way from Rhode Island, all the way south in the fall. When it gets cold, they're going to go south, 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 south to a place where it's warmer. They're going to go to the country called Mexico, and they will all be there together in Mexico, resting in a special place. I'm going to put a video on today that you're going to see all the real live monarchs in Mexico. And then when it starts to get warm again in our springtime, those butterflies are going to take that long, long flight all the way back here to Rhode Island, which is what they're doing now. On the way home, a monarch drops something on a milkweed leaf. It looks like a little jelly bean or a dewdrop, but you know what it is, really, and just what's hidden inside. The end. Today, for your assignment, I'm going to ask you to tell your family, an adult in your family, a couple of things that you learned that is true for a butterfly. Some things that you learned in listening to this story. And what I'd like you to do is to open up that little red journal that you have, and at the top of the page, you're going to draw a picture of something that you learned. And then you're going to tell it to your family, and they're going to write it in your book. And then you're going to draw another picture of something you learned, and they will write down what you learned that is true. Because remember, books that are true, stories or books that are true, are called nonfiction, and they tell you information that is real instead of a story. All right, boys and girls, have a great day. So happy you learned about butterflies with me. We have some more exciting things happening this week. So we'll see you soon.